retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience for your love with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration, feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. They feel their disease. Just like a weed.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to yet another special Thursday stream. We are streaming live on a whole fucking whopping 8 social media accounts, baby, across 4 different platforms, and we turn it up on a Thursday. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you guys are ready for another great night, because it is always a great night with DJ Storms, as of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle, shit. Do you smell that? Yo, gentlemen, do you know what that is?
Smells like absolute excellence to my.
I smell greatness.
You damn fucking right. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind. And this is the official rundown for WWE Elimination Chamber. I don't know why I said it like that. 2023, streaming live on the Peacock, that is. Get your mind out of the gutter, you fucking savages. This Saturday, from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, streaming live at 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. Hope you guys are set and ready for a great show as per usual, but I got with me not one but 2 very special guests. The first one, he is one of the co-founders of the Philly Talk Sports podcast. Please help me welcome for the very first time ever on the channel, Mr. Robert, right to my right over here. How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing great.
We certainly have a lot to talk about, Rob, but before we get into what we're going to get into, we're not done here, because I got one more guest. You may have seen him on the Wrestling Experience with Earl Cole. We've collaborated once before. First time I'm actually having him on my channel. Please help me welcome the creator of the It's Still Real to Me podcast, Tyler, right down below me. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
But, gentlemen, we have a lot to get into. The Elimination Chamber is just 48 hours away. And I don't know about you guys, but after what happened with the Rumble, and specifically the Royal Rumble not being a very good show, it doesn't really matter what anyone wants to tell themselves. Royal Rumble was not that good of a show. And it's not because the outcomes were incorrect. They got all the outcomes correct in those matches. It's because the means to the outcomes inevitably shit the bed. Every single match, minus the main event and the closing segment, was very poorly produced. And it honestly felt like Vince McMahon produced more than half of the show. And Triple H, I don't know what it was, but maybe it's because of all these lawsuits that have been piled on WWE. Vince McMahon has probably taken a step back to try and save his ass. And Triple H said to everyone, yeah, the Royal Rumble sucked. The Royal Rumble sucked. I'm sorry that Vince deprived you of a great start to WrestleMania season. Here is my apology. I am going to give everyone a solid build for the chamber and put together a card that could realistically be looked at as a night 3 of WrestleMania, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. The Elimination Chamber, this is probably one of the best looking cards for the chamber that I've personally seen. And I do believe that in the end, the Elimination Chamber could go down as one of the best pay-per-views of the year if WWE does indeed play their cards right. But we're going to start with Robert first. Rob, what were your thoughts on the overall build for the Elimination Chamber and the card itself?
Honestly, I thought it was fantastic. I thought the continues the storylines, what they need to get done, because knowing that this is the final stop before the showcase of the Immortals, I thought it was very fantastic. I'm really excited to see what both the men's, the women's, hell. The only thing, the one match I'm looking forward to is the Universal title match, which is I think that's going to be really well produced. But like you said, if it's not I think if you play your cards right, I think you got yourself a really nice head start to WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles.
Yes, absolutely. I do believe they've built up these chambers very nicely. Everything has made sense. There's been little to no bullshit. And I do believe that they could end up with a very solid show in the end. But Tyler, what were your thoughts on the overall build, the card itself, and what could we be looking at by the time the show is over by 11 p.m. on Saturday?
What I thought of the whole build was just like Rob said. It was genius. It was a lot of stuff, a lot of intrigue going into these builds, and the chamber matches have been built up nicely. The Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns match has been built up nicely with the Cody thing this past Monday being exceptionally well done. Honestly, give them Oscars or give them Emmys because the acting in this, holy crap. And I see a lot of intrigue going into this pay-per-view, and what I see after this is kind of an iffy spot when it comes to the main title picture, because I feel like they'd be kind of backed themselves into a corner here. Sammy's over, Cody's over, Roman's over. I don't know where they're going with this. I really hope that the right move is made, because in that main title picture, they're in the corner, and I don't know what they're gonna do there. Hopefully it's a segue out of that into the title picture with the tag titles with Kevin and Sammy.
Yes.
So I hope that is in play still. But I do see a lot of intrigue going into not only Elimination Chamber, but Mania 39. I see a lot of intrigue if they build this right to Mania. So it's just, you got to just keep the intrigue up. That's all you got to do.
Yes, and if WWE does play their cards right, they could be looking at probably one of the best WrestleManias ever. And a lot of people have talked about some of the great WrestleManias over the course of the years. Obviously, you got Mania 31, you got Mania 24, you got Mania 17. I do believe with the direction that they could be headed in and the amount of talent that's on the show, WrestleMania 39 will ultimately be a fantastic show from top to bottom. The one thing I just hate about WrestleMania, and I know this is Elimination Chamber rundown, but when we're on the topic of WrestleMania here, they really got to get rid of the 2 nights. 2 nights of WrestleMania, it's not necessary. You know what they need to do? Reduce the amount of fucking matches. We do not need 14, 15, 16 matches on a WrestleMania. Do 8, 9, 10 maximum. That's all you need. I can name you so many matches over the course of the last X amount of years that didn't even fucking belong on WrestleMania. Even last year, and last year's WrestleMania, specifically night one, was a fantastic show. But at the end of the fucking day, I can name you at least 4 or 5 matches that didn't need to be on the show. But regardless of that, this is about the Elimination Chamber. And like we said, they do have the potential to make it a great show. I know that Montreal is going to bring the fucking heat, especially for the main event. And on top of that, the card looks great from top to bottom. And I'm hoping that we could be sitting here after Saturday saying that that was one of the best Elimination Chamber shows that we've ever seen. But before we get into the festivities here, where can everybody find you on social media? Rob, first up.
Well, y'all can check out me and Tyler because he and I are our best, or not just a tag team, but being the longest time best friends. You can find us at the Philly Sports Talk podcast, and then every single Thursday at 6:00 Eastern time, we'll be live for the Instagram podcast for all things wrestling news related. Also, show recaps, what have you. Like we'll do cover that as well, and also we are growing on TikTok as well, Instagram. That's all. If you come from my channel, it's all linked down below. But yeah. I mean, that's kind of short, sweet, to the point.
Tyler, where can everybody find you on social media?
You can find me on Facebook at Tyler Michael Coleman. You could find me on Twitter at It's For Me on YT. That's the Twitter handle. And on Instagram, I just use my regular page on that too. So you can look up my name on Facebook, Instagram, or you can look up It's For Me on YT on Twitter.
Very, very nice. Now, everyone else, you can follow me on Twitter and the gram at HistoryMakerDJS. That is at HistoryMakerDJS, because all I do is make history every single day of my fucking life, no matter where I go. Then you can add me on Facebook as well for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Please make sure that you like the official DJ Storms business page. I made you send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms posse group on Facebook, which Tyler, I believe, is a part of, and Rob, I believe, is a part of as well. So if you want to join them amongst the elite members of the DJ Storms posse, please make sure that you like the page, and I'll send you that invite to join the official group on the Book of Faces, as Rick Recon said it. Speaking of Rick Recon, go check out the Eye of the Storm with Rick Recon. If you missed it, Rick Recon was fantastic. Shout out to him. Very well-spoken individual, very passionate individual. Hopefully, I should have him back on the channel sooner rather than later. He's actually facing Crowbar tomorrow in Avenel, New Jersey at ISPW St. Valentine's Vengeance. Unfortunately, I will not be there because it is quite a hike from my job, and I really do not want to spend 2 hours in the car. But I will be at the next ISPW event, which is in Westwood, on March 11th. So please go and get your tickets there if you haven't already done so. We're streaming live on 8 platforms, including my personal Facebook, my group page, my YouTube channel, Rob's YouTube channel, Hardcore Sports YouTube channel. We're streaming live on the Hardcore Sports Twitch, the Philly Talks podcast, Twitter rather, the Philly Talks podcast Twitter, and my Twitter as well. We are all over the fucking place. So no matter where you're watching it from, like it on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. If you're on my channel, then like the video, go over to Rob's channel, like it there. Then go over to the Hardcore Sports channel and like it there. We want likes on every single fucking platform that we are streaming live from, because we're getting a wide fucking outreach. I'm telling you, we are looking to be the #1 brand in all sports analytics, including baseball, football, hockey, basketball, UFC, wrestling. It don't matter. Hardcore Sports is the place to be, and go check out the Hardcore Sports social media links. They are down below for Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, that means you got to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to Rob's channel. Subscribe to Hardcore Sports YouTube channel. Subscribe to my channel. And of course, when you subscribe to those channels, you got to hit the notifications bell, specifically with my channel, with a huge coup de grace, because that way you're going to know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, oh, baby, it is the best time to be on YouTube. And Earl may not be here, but we're going to do it anyway, because it is the only fucking time on YouTube that you can see this glorious sideburn shin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. I think everybody knows what time it is. It is time for the greatest inanimate object in the IWC to take its spotlight, this magic ace comb, solid black comb, and we gonna light it up with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because like a nice chicken dinner, barbecue chicken and fettuccine alfredo on the side with a little Italian salad with some dressing and some croutons with a nice tall glass of Sprite. I am just so good. I'm the tastiest snack in the IWC. Everybody wants a piece of the Storms Meister. Anyway, I'm getting a little ahead of myself over here. So, with all that out of the way, why don't we get straight into the festivities here? Rundown for the Chamber. We got 5 matches, and we may as well start off with a match in which the show is named after. We got Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, and Montez Ford. This is an Elimination Chamber match for the United States Championship. So, first of all, I like the fact that it's for the U.S. title. I really do. This is the first time that the U.S. title has been defended inside the Chamber. And the reason why this is an excellent move, I talked about this before, is because the United States title has not really received much of a proper spotlight like the Intercontinental title. It's been good. We've had the U.S. title in some great matches. We've had big names competing for it. But ultimately, the U.S. title has been passed around a lot. It's been passed around. It was on Lashley. They had a decent thing going on with Lashley. Then they took it off him just to put him in a match with Lesnar. Then it was on Rollins. And then they put it on Theory. Now with Theory, I feel like they finally have something with Theory. And they finally have a solid individual that's going to hold that title for a solid period of time. But before we get into that, first things first, with the talent in this match, there is not one weak link in this match. And if, again, we've said this before, but if WWE plays their cards right, this chamber match itself could end up being one of the best chamber matches that WWE has ever done, just based on the talent alone that is in this match. This is probably the most excited I've personally been for an Elimination Chamber match itself in a lot of years. And I really do mean a lot of years. So one thing is for certain, Priest, he's always been great, but I do believe that Montez Ford, Bronson Reed, and Johnny Gargano, those 3 are definitely going to look to have some breakout moments, especially Montez Ford. We already know that Bronson Reed, he's going to be a big deal. Johnny Gargano is going to be a big deal. But Montez Ford, him and Dawkins are not breaking up anytime soon, nor should they. But this is going to be a big, big test for Montez Ford, and I do believe he's probably going to pull out something big. He's probably going to do some crazy shit that's going to get some people talking, and that is definitely something that I'm looking forward to the most. I see him having a very good showcase. I know there's been a lot of people that have been saying, maybe we can give this to Johnny, or maybe we can give this to Bronson Reed. I do believe that they will be United States champion in due time. And believe me, Johnny and Bronson are 2 individuals that I would absolutely pitch to become the United States champion. Not now. Maybe the summertime, but not now. The reason why I say not now is because, like we already touched upon, at least I touched upon, the U.S. title has not received the proper reverence as the Intercontinental title. Gunther, just by being Gunther, has made the Intercontinental Championship into legitimately the second most prestigious championship, right behind Roman Reigns and what he's doing. Gunther has made that championship into an absolute fucking desired prize. So the Chamber didn't need to be for the Intercontinental title. The United States title needed more of this rub. More specifically, the champion himself needed more of the rub. And what I mean by that is we have not had a solid United States champion that's been able to carry that title for an extended period of time. And I do believe that this will be Austin Theory's time. Austin Theory, with what he's already done, defeating Bobby Lashley, defeating Seth Rollins in a couple solid matches, then he beats 5 of the top competitors on Raw in the Chamber, and then goes on to WrestleMania to fight John Cena for the title and beats John Cena, that right there will boost Austin Theory and the United States Championship up tenfold. So listen, I understand people, they want to see Bronson do what Gunther's doing. They want to see Johnny get his big moment. I get it. But right now it's about Austin Theory. It's about establishing him. It's about establishing a solid United States Championship reign under his belt. Think about the individuals that he would have under his belt and think about how credible he would be after beating Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley. He won the Elimination Chamber in what, his second chamber, and then he beats John Cena at WrestleMania. That right there, made man at what, 25, 26?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Made man. So I got Theory retaining the United States title no matter what happens in the end. So I'm actually going to toss it down to Tyler. Tyler, give me your expertise analysis on what is going down with this U.S. title chamber.
Well, I do agree with you that Montez is going to have some good high spots, some good spots in the match. Bronson's going to have some amazing spots too. But yeah, I have to agree with you there. I don't see Austin Theory losing that title anytime soon. I don't. And honestly, I wouldn't mind him taking it to Mania to face John Cena, like you said. And to have him win a title match against John Cena will, like you said, again, legitimize him. And this guy's a star already. And for him to go to Mania as a champion against John Cena and to retain that belt will further prove that he's a star. So I'm excited for this kid to see where he goes. I just see him retaining. I see him having a lengthy run with the title. And let's just see where this goes.
Yeah, and I can see him actually fighting Johnny Gargano at SummerSlam in Detroit on August 5th, and Johnny can take the title there. That would give Theory more than enough time with the United States Championship. More than enough time. He won it at Survivor Series. He holds it till SummerSlam. Nice, solid 240-plus days. That will be perfect, and that's exactly what the U.S. title needs. But let's hand it over to Rob. Rob, what you got for us?
I agree with both of y'all, because originally my plan was, because knowing that you have Damian Priest, who's been known as a really workhorse, and seeing a little bit of Austin Theory though, and the thing with Theory though is like the fact that with that failed cash, that kind of set everybody up ablaze. But I think when you looked at it, it was like a blessing in disguise, and see the I would say like a repackage, but kind of like a retool of his character. And kind of gives you what Cena was in the early 2000s. And this is what and like I said, I would like to see Theory retain it, go to SummerSlam. If he does decide to drop it, I say give it to Gargano, or hell, give me Bronson Reed could take the belt off him. I think I think most really good talent, and like I said, build him up to Mania. Let Cena put him out, or let him put Austin Theory over. And at some point, I think that should be a good step in the right direction for him to push him to the main event scene. And at some later down the line, win the whole damn thing.
And also, what a story that this would tell, because look what happened to Cena in the early 2000s. His first title win was the U.S. title at Mania. So for him to put over Austin Theory at Mania, the same place where he won the belt himself, the same event where he won the belt himself, to put over Theory in a U.S. title match, amazing. The story is there.
And the biggest thing that I always talk about, I talk about this a lot, it's all about transferring credibility from one superstar to the next. Yeah. You already have Gunther, who has established himself as the most credible individual on SmackDown minus Roman, and he's absolutely going to transfer that credibility to whoever beats him, which I hope to be Sheamus. It's going to be the same thing with Austin Theory. Austin Theory, he wins the chamber, he beats John Cena, and then Gargano beats him at SummerSlam. That credibility that Theory generated for himself is going to transfer to Johnny Gargano, and that right there is the biggest thing for me when it comes to modern-day professional wrestling. It's all about transferring credibility from one superstar to another. But I think that we're Austin Theory across the board here, correct?
Absolutely.
Yep.
So let's move on here. We got Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. And I talked about this a couple weeks ago on the LFU. And I stated, I think it was actually last week on the LFU. I actually did a special Thursday LFU because I ended up interviewing Rick Recon on Saturday. But with this match taking place at the Chamber, this is probably the best move here. Because realistically speaking, Lesnar and Lashley, yeah, they match back at Crown Jewel. But at the end of the day, that finish combined with the first shitty match that they had, it really turned a lot of people off to Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. I was done with them after the first match. And on top of all of that, not only is this going to free Bobby Lashley up to go and reunite with the Hurt Business, which I think is a great move. And after Mania, I'd love to see the Hurt Business and the Judgment Day mix it up. We can get some great matches out of that program. But the best thing about it is it frees up Brock Lesnar for a free, new, fresh matchup at WrestleMania. And I have been pitching this for quite a couple of months now. Karrion Kross is staring you right in the fucking face. And Karrion Kross, especially with what happened within the span of 48 hours with the Rumble and then with his loss to Rey Mysterio, I knew for a fact that Vince McMahon was back in charge just by that alone. I knew for a fact that Vince had at least some influence on what's going on backstage in creative. So I knew for a fucking fact, that it was going to be a disastrous run for Karrion Kross right after that because Vince has the influence back. Not all of it, but some. But Kross needs a big-time fresh matchup to really amp him up. And Lesnar, I think we have really surpassed the Bobby Lashley experiment and the Roman Reigns experiment. I think it's time we get Brock Lesnar in there with some new individuals. Gunther, yes, obviously that's the number one. But Gunther, Sheamus, and McIntyre, they seem to be headed on a collision course for a triple threat match for the IC title at WrestleMania. So if you're asking me, I'm saving Gunther and Brock Lesnar for SummerSlam. I'm saving that match for SummerSlam to help pack in the people in Detroit. And then I am doing Karrion Kross versus Brock Lesnar, and I am having Karrion Kross win over Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Now, if you're asking me who comes out victorious here, I think it's about time that we see Bobby Lashley get the win here. Bobby Lashley takes the victory. Bobby Lashley goes and reunites with the Hurt Business. I'm not sure what he does at WrestleMania, but if you're asking me, Bobby Lashley doesn't really need to be on WrestleMania. It's not really necessary. But after WrestleMania, we can pick him up and we can start getting the ball rolling on the Hurt Business versus the Judgment Day. Maybe we can get Lashley over to SmackDown. Maybe Lashley goes and fights Sheamus for the Intercontinental title. Maybe Lashley fights Cody for the World title. We need some new, fresh matchups for Bobby Lashley as well. So I do believe that Bobby Lashley, he's going to take the win here. It's going to be hard-hitting. It's going to be physical, as per usual. I hope that it's not a repeat of the last match and we actually get a legit finish. But at the end of the day, I do see Bobby Lashley getting the victory here. Let's move Bobby Lashley on to reuniting with the Hurt Business. And let's get Brock Lesnar in there with Karrion Kross at WrestleMania. So that way we can get Karrion Kross on the right track and we can have Brock Lesnar doing what Brock Lesnar should be doing, and that is helping others get over. Rob, floor's yours.
I agree. I mean, it's like looking at this too, because not just from your perspective, me and Jeff talked about this as well. You know, like I said, minus a little, like I said, some of the shitty matches, the encounters that they both had. Like, you know, if you're going to like, you know, and I actually like that idea too, because originally because me and Jeff actually talked about this, or in Earl too, is how you could see this, you know, could say, oh, like the best, you know, fantasy idea was give these two a 3 stages to hell match and just let them beat the hell out of each other. And whoever comes out on top, you know, like you said, I think Bobby Lashley needs to go back to reunite with the Hurt Business, because I think that was, you know, going well for them. But then again, like you said, with Vince McMahon kind of with this influence, and you could definitely see it from week to week basis. And I think with Brock, Brock's no longer a spring chicken as he used to be. And I think at this point, he's got to be in the conversation of not saying being a jobber, but be kind of a guy that's we're going to try to help up build new stars. So I think I'm going to have Lesnar take this one and have Lashley go back to the Hurt Business.
Yeah, it really doesn't make any sense for Brock to come out victorious here. And if anything, I would have started the build for Brock Lesnar and Karrion Kross in the Royal Rumble. But then again, who the fuck am I? I'm only the fucking king of the IWC. Anyway, Tyler, what you got for us?
I do have Brock winning, and I have Bobby Lashley rejoining the Hurt Business because that's been brewing for months and months and months. It's time for a payoff. So I feel like he's going to take a loss, go back to the Hurt Business, and they'll do what they have to do over there with that group. So
you actually think Lesnar's going to take the victory here?
Lesnar's going to take the victory, but I feel like Bobby's going to get enraged, and I feel like it's going to be his heel turn, and they'll rejoin the Hurt Business. I don't see a babyface Hurt Business like other people are seeing.
They don't need to be like smiling baby faces. They could be badass baby faces, like Undertaker, American Badass babyface. Yeah,
it could work, but then you got Omos in the group that's still a heel. I don't.
Who?
Omos.
What the fuck? You mean that guy?
That dude.
Fucking retard.
Why
is he still employed? Why the fuck is that guy still employed?
I don't get it, but he's in the group apparently, and he's still a heel while Shelton and I don't know who else is
Cedric.
And
they're over as hell with the fans.
It's like I don't get what they're doing with this. Either commit and turn him heel, or just or better yet, release Omos. He sucks. He's terrible.
Satnam Singh has more value than Omos.
Exactly.
That's yeah, that's
holy shit. Telling you. But anyway. So we got 2 for Bobby Lashley and 1 for Brock Lesnar. I actually thought we were going to get Bobby Lashley across the board there, but I don't know. We'll have to place a little bit of money on that one. But we're actually going into a match that I think is probably the most unpredictable match of the night, and that is Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley. Now, I say that because they're kind of caught in a little bit of a corner here. Now, Edge and Beth Phoenix could take the win because it's Edge's hometown, and Edge can pin Balor, and Ripley doesn't have to take the loss. That's fine. But realistically speaking, if Edge beats Balor, where do they go from there? Edge got his revenge. And I don't believe it's going to end here. If anything, I do believe that this is all building towards Edge Finn Balor, WrestleMania, Hell in a Cell. After everything that these guys have gone through, it wouldn't really make much sense to end it in a mixed tag team match. Yes, Beth Phoenix is going to get her hands on Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley shouldn't be losing. She's going into a WrestleMania match against Charlotte Flair. She should really be facing Bianca Belair, but Charlotte Flair needs to be the fucking egotistical bitch that she is and politic her way into a WrestleMania match. It's fuck Charlotte Flair all day, every day with me.
Yeah, you ain't wrong.
I hate that bitch.
Cross the board.
Anyway. So Beth Phoenix is obviously going to get her hands on Rhea Ripley, but Ripley is not taking the pin here. Edge could pin Balor to win, but again, if anything, that's it. There would be no reason for a Hell in a Cell because Edge and Beth Phoenix would have gotten their win. So if anything, I'm actually going to go with the opposite pick here. I think that Ripley and Balor are going to take the win because here's the thing. Beth isn't from Canada. So at the end of the day, if Ripley gets the victory by pinning Beth Phoenix and she's looking strong going into her match with Charlotte Flair, Edge doesn't have to take the pinfall loss. And then that is a segue into Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania, whatever night they want to put it on. I think that's perfect. I think that's absolutely perfect. It makes sense. It's straightforward. Everything flows very nicely. And in the end, it is perfect storytelling. Like we said, Ripley's going to look strong, and it's going to be an overall very fun mixed tag team match. The hometown crowd is going to play into the match. Edge and Beth Phoenix are going to be over, and Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor in the end, with Ripley pinning Beth, Edge not taking the loss, and then we go into Hell in a Cell. It's going to make Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley into bigger heels than they already are. After what happened at Extreme Rules, they're already probably the top heels on Monday Night Raw. But if we get them beating Edge, quote unquote, beating Edge, even though they're not going to beat Edge, they beat Edge, quote unquote, in his hometown. I mean, that's absolutely going to get mega heat on him. Plus, I mean, after everything, I do believe that Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley, they do deserve a moment like that. They're already going to get some big moments at WrestleMania, but they absolutely deserve a big moment like that. So, if anything, I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor here. Tyler, what say you?
I have to absolutely agree with you here. I'm going to have to take Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor here too, because they have to make Rhea look strong going into Mania for her championship match. They have to make her look strong. And it also legitimizes the Judgment Day as a credible powerhouse team that they want them to be. Yeah, I get that. Edge lives in that area. It's his hometown. Beth Phoenix, she's still over to this day, even though she's been years away from the company. As a competitor, I feel like the right move has to be Finn Balor, Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
I'm glad to agree as well, because I mean, like I said, it makes more sense. I mean, it continues the rivalry between, especially with Finn and Edge, who actually looking like it's going to be I think probably one of the best Hell in a Cells I could imagine between these two, and also keep Rhea Ripley and let her do what she needs to do, and and take revenge of what from being screwed 3 years ago. Like I said, because of the crazy politicking bitch that is known as Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair all day, every day.
Yeah, but so I'm going to have the Judgment Day taking the victory on this one.
Yeah. By Ripley pinning Beth for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And after what Edge and Seth Rollins did at Crown Jewel 2021 with their Hell in a Cell, I do believe that absolutely Finn Balor and Edge are going to do everything in their power that they can to top that match. So we are Judgment Day across the board here. Let's go to the Women's Chamber. We got Raquel Rodriguez. We got Liv Morgan. We got Asuka, Nikki Cross, Natalya, and Carmella. Now, Natalya and Carmella, they won Fatal 4-Ways in order to qualify for the Chamber, while the other 4, they came down to the final 5 in the Women's Royal Rumble, in which Rhea Ripley inevitably won. I thought that move by bringing in those individuals as the first 4 participants in the Chamber, that is a great move, and it honestly makes the Rumble feel more important, especially with what Liv Morgan did, a lasting wire-to-wire with Rhea Ripley. So if you're good enough to go to the final 5 in the Rumble and you just come up short to the winner, you can still make your way through WrestleMania in the Chamber. I like that a lot. I really do. I think that's a brilliant, brilliant move. So this one's a little bit more predictable than the U.S. title chamber. I mean, you do have some options with the U.S. title chamber, but ultimately I do believe Theory will come out victorious. But as far as the women's chamber here, I mean, no one should be coming out victorious but Asuka. Let's be real.
I mean,
Natalya, listen, Natalya's not a bad wrestler, but she's boring as shit. Carmella, she's not bad, but she's
boring as shit.
Opportunities. No, she's not boring, but she's had her opportunities. Carmella is virtually the female Dolph Ziggler. She's a good wrestler, but she's there to make others look good. Nikki Cross, not ready yet. Liv Morgan, she's not there yet. And Raquel Rodriguez, she'll get there. She's on her way there.
But not ready yet.
I don't see her being a major championship title player until at least SummerSlam. So you got to give her some time. Asuka, after what happened with her and her coming back with this this Kana gimmick from what she was in Japan. That right there has pretty much given Asuka a completely new lease on life. People have been legitimately drooling over this new Asuka gimmick because she's back to being a fucking killer. Corey Graves said it himself when she fought Chelsea Green. You remember the scene in Jurassic Park where the fucking goat was being lowered into the fucking raptor chamber? That's Asuka. Asuka is that fucking crazy ass velociraptor that's looking to rip you limb from limb. And that right there is a great thing to see. So, look, we're not going to get Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. Fine. Asuka versus Bianca Belair is the next best thing. And if I am a betting man, we lost Tyler there for a little bit. We'll get him back. Here we go. We got him back. If I'm a betting man, I am going to give Asuka the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca's great, but I don't know what it is. She's honestly gotten stale.
I was going to say, because me and Tyler talk about this all the time on our watch parties. And, every time when we with Earl and Jeff, like we all agreed across the board that, it's something's got to change with Bianca Belair. And, the way that Asuka is, and I was one of his, just like, ever since she came out from that goofy, or they portrayed her as a goofy character. But since going, it's like they did a really nice job of transitioning to her back to what she was in Japan. It just took on a week by week basis, and the way that it came out, I thought was really fantastic of how they really, first like, oh, she's got no face paint, she's got like the weird mug or like a weird look on her face. It's like, because me and Tyler were thinking about this, just like, what the hell is going on? And then we didn't think of it, and then until we saw it later, say, oh, then we saw what kind of. At that point. So, Asuka, I want to see her whip some ass and just take some names. I think we all could agree across the board.
Yep.
If anything, I would actually love to see Asuka eliminate the whole fucking field.
That too.
Hey.
I'd love to see her eliminate the whole fucking field.
Take them all out.
Take them all out. Just be the fucking killer that she is. But, Tyler, I'd like to believe that you're with us here.
I'm with you guys. Give me Asuka.
So here's a question, though. You get Asuka and she wins the Raw Women's Championship. Where do you go from there? What is the big name that she's going to be fighting at SummerSlam? Because she needs a long title reign.
That's a good point. That's going to be a hard one to think.
Yeah.
Because look at the state of that Romans division. You're not really much to get off.
It's so anemic.
I would go with Io Sky.
Io Sky could be a possibility.
One.
That's pretty much about it. It's been anemic.
Yeah, it's so anemic. You can't really pick but one, and that's.
I got Io Sky. Just let those two just fucking tear the house down at SummerSlam. That's the match.
I think also, if I'm not mistaken, too, and they actually were kind of rivals in Japan, if I'm not mistaken, too.
Yes,
they were.
Yes.
That makes more sense.
Build the history of that up. It's simple.
I'll be okay with that. I would not be opposed to that.
It's absolutely perfect. That's what I'm going to. That's what I'm going to go with. But again, no one but Asuka should be winning this. No reason for anyone but Asuka to be winning this. Final match right here. Actually got through this pretty quickly. Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, Undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship. We got a lot of opposing views, a lot of opposing takes, that's for sure. And I know for a fact that a lot of people are going to want to go with Sami Zayn. I get it. I understand. But in the end, Sami Zayn, he's not the guy. I do believe that people are going to have to really put that out of their fucking minds and just take it off to the side. Enough with the fantasy booking and all that. I understand where you're coming from, but at the end of it all, this is about Roman and Cody. And what we need here is the perfect storyline continuation where Roman Reigns inevitably is on the verge of losing, but it is ultimately Jey Uso that fucks over Sami. All the heat is transferred from Roman to Jay, and we are off and running to the races with Sami and Kevin Owens versus the Usos at WrestleMania. But I do believe that with the crowd, this could end up being the best match of the year. Not even gonna lie.
I agree, because even on SmackDown though, even though it wasn't great, but I knew exactly where you're coming from with that, and I think me and Tyler talked about this too. Like, this is how, I think I won't say it was predictable, but we were kind of discussing this, like, knowing that all the trust that Jay has given to Sami, I think is, like I said, it kind of comes back to bite Sami in the rear end, so to speak. And I thought, and I can imagine the biggest crowd pop that Montreal. Talk about having nuclear heat on the Jay is going to be something special to watch.
Yeah, and I feel like
perfect long-term storytelling.
Yeah, and I feel like I have to agree here. The only way to get away from this corner that they've backed into is that segue to get Sami off of Roman and onto the tag team title scene. Because, like I said before, you're in a corner. You got to get out of there somehow. So why not segue him off of that main title, put him with the tag team titles with Kevin?
Simple. It's quite simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
But one thing is for sure, I really do believe that the crowd reaction combined with how over Sami has been and how good Roman has been as a heel and just being the yin to Sami Zayn's yang, no matter what happens, Sami Zayn is going to come out of this a made fucking man. Sami Zayn is going to come out of this a made man. This is probably the best Sami Zayn we've seen since NXT Sami Zayn. And that's exactly why this match is going to mean so much to Sami in the end, whether he wins or loses, and he will inevitably lose. But I do believe that a major crowd pop is going to be coming when Owens inevitably saves Sami at the Chamber and they embrace. It's going to be a beautiful sight. It really is. And I do believe that it's going to be a very special moment when Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens inevitably win the tag team titles. And it's going to be a perfect segue to get Roman onto Cody.
Yeah.
I agree. Because like you said, I remember when Sami was NXT and, on just, all the stuff that he's been through, especially in the later part. It's funny. Actually, I watched the interview with him and Ariel Helwani. Now, he basically said, the road to where I am now was kind of, in a way, was rough, rough and bumpy. And I could see that. So, the man's been, in a way, used as a comedy, but, knowing that Hunter, I think knowing that he was Hunter's guy, and I'll have to give Triple H a lot of credit to especially sticking him with the bloodline to really help him out. It really, and at the end, even so with the aftermath of it, it's paying dividends very well.
Yeah, it really hit home. That's for sure, and it has really brought Sami back to being what he was back in 2014, and he was legitimately the best babyface in the entire company at that time. And now he's pretty much right back in that same boat, regardless of whether or not Cody Rhodes is back and he's on his way to winning the world title at WrestleMania. But it's going to be a fantastic match. But ultimately, Roman will retain thanks to the antics of Jey Uso, which will ultimately lead to Kevin Owens coming out to save Sami. The embrace will happen. The crowd's going to go nuts. And we are going to be off to the races. We will be off to the races for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos and Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. It's going to be good. I'm very excited. I haven't been this excited about a main event match in a long, long time.
Yeah, you and all of us here, because we know that let's be real, the pay-per-views the last handful of years have been lackluster, to say the least. For lack of a better term. But like, this is actually and looking at this not just from the Chamber's perspective, I'm thinking to myself, you're doing a really good job of building this, but you couldn't fucking do that with the Royal Rumble. Like, that for me just didn't really sit. Still doesn't sit well with me. It really, even though we're a couple of months from, more than 2 months removed from or about a month removed, so it'd be 2 months. But regardless, like, it's it was ridiculous, but that's here nor there.
Yeah, look, that's in the past. We're looking forward to the Chamber, and I do believe it will be Triple H's apology for the bullshit that was the Royal Rumble 2023. But, ladies and gentlemen, we got through that one pretty quickly. That wraps up this edition of The Rundown. I would like to thank each and every single person who tuned in to the stream. You guys are fantastic as per usual. Thank you to Tyler and Robert for taking the time out of the day to watch or to hang on to the stream and talk about the Chamber, talk wrestling, shoot the shit. Hopefully we'll get to do it again very, very soon, but you guys were fantastic. And I thank
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on.
One last time, where can we find you on social media, Rob?
Y'all can find me and Tyler here at the Philly Sports Talk Podcast, live on YouTube, Twitter. I pretty much will run our Twitter and our official Instagram. Both, Twitter at Philly Podcast YT. Like I said, if you want to watch it from my channel, the link is in the description. Instagram at Philly Sports 97. Same with TikTok, even though we're still building up over there. But if you also like wrestling content too, me and Tyler will be live usually almost every Friday for SmackDown. Me every Tuesday night for NXT and stuff like that, and every Monday with Jeff and Earl with the Monday Night Raw watch alongs. Because, like I said, we're trying to bring more to the table in terms of the wrestling content. Because I know y'all been, especially this past Monday night, y'all fucking killed it for Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, you guys did. Thank you, guys.
But I want to address something too.
You both, seriously.
This is interesting from Lisa too. Please, for the love of God, do not fuck up the Raw after Mania. For the love of Christ.
Yeah, please. I fucking agree. I really do.
Good Lord. It's
Raw
like,
after Mania hasn't felt like Raw after Mania since 2016, 2017?
I think prior 2016.
Holy shit. But where can we find you on social media, Tyler?
You can find me on Twitter at the official It's Follow Me podcast page. You can find me on Instagram. And on my personal page, you can find me on Facebook on my personal page, and you can find the It's From Me podcast on the Philly Sports Talk podcast YouTube page every Thursday at 6 p.m. We do that. We also do NXT on Tuesdays. We do SmackDown on Fridays, every other Tuesdays, to accommodate to my buddy's work schedule. So we do it every other week. But if you guys like what you saw, give us a like, give homie a like, give us a like, and subscribe, and thank you.
You guys have been great. Hopefully we'll get to do it again, but you already know the drill with me. Like, comment, subscribe. Got all the links in the description. LFU on Saturday, Rewind on Sunday. But till next time, he's Tyler, he's Rob, and this has been The Rundown. But before we get out of here, baby, universal question that everybody must answer. It's the most important question that one will answer in their lives. And that is, gentlemen, who runs the IWC?
You do.
Absolutely, this winner.
Damn fucking right, baby. Who but DJ motherfucking Storms? And don't you fucking forget it.